Lots happened since yesterday. Yesterday I saw Dr Miranda Myles, who is a naturopath and acupuncturist and happened to be one of my lecturers as well. Absolutely amazing lecturer. She taught us nutritional biochemistry and I always just loved the science in that class, and I've always wanted to see her, to be honest, but so many different reasons got in the way. And after only getting one viable blastocyst, that made me realise that I really need to invoke the help of someone else. And it's funny because it was actually Miranda who always drilled it into us that we cannot treat ourselves, we need to get someone else, we need to stop playing naturopath with ourselves and just let someone else help. So it was funny to be going back to her. And it was amazing, absolutely amazing. And we're going to be doing some more testing, particularly the FIFA protocol blood test, which looks at your zinc and copper and a few other homocysteine. So basically this is looking at relationships to your metallothionein, your methylation, and the zinc and copper ratio is quite important, and zinc obviously is important for everything in the body. So if those things are out, then you're going to get a whole host of issues. I'm also going to be doing a full thyroid panel, which is something I've been meaning to do for a long time but haven't got around to it, because we can look at our TSH, which is your thyroid stimulating hormone, but often it's fine. And I see this in clients all the time. And so often people only test for TSH. However, there can be a lot of other things under the surface going on. I often say that TSH is just the tip of the iceberg, but there's a lot more going on underneath. So we need to look at your free T3, free T4, reverse T3. You need to look at the ratios and your antibodies as well. So definitely going to have a look at that. And Miranda also pointed out, of course, that there is often in endometriosis, there are a lot of people who also have underactive thyroid as well. So really good to have a look at that. We upped dosages on a lot of things I'm already taking. She was really happy with most of the things I was taking. Obviously, that's a benefit of being a naturopath. But there were also a lot of extra things that she added in as well, which was exciting because that's what I want. I just want to do everything possible. And she said to me, so what do you want to do? Do you either want to just first off focus on increasing implantation, or do you also want to do improving egg quality at the same time, or do we want to wait, see if this implantation works and then focus on egg quality? I said I want to do both right now. I want to get a head start. If this first round doesn't work, I want to already get a head start on that. So we are doing all the works. At this point in time, I'm so grateful for being a naturopath because obviously I get access to all these practitioner grade supplements at wholesale prices, and I can imagine for someone that was paying full price to do all this stuff, it would be quite expensive. However, this is just the nature of health. There are genetic drivers behind certain things where we have to do this to be able to improve our health significantly, and sometimes diet just doesn't cut it. And it was just really refreshing to get confirmation and also some extra answers, and hopefully with the testing will lead to even more answers, so that we can really get to the root cause. And regardless of whether this next implantation works, the matter of the fact is I had a low egg count, and she said that would also be classed as a poor responder category. And the fact is that tells us there's something else going on. And whilst, affecting your egg quality and count is one thing, when that is happening, that is actually a marker that your health isn't optimal. And so that's going to affect other things. That's going to make you more predisposed to other conditions later on in life. It's linked to so many other things. So it's obviously the baby is the number one priority, but it's also linked to, prevention and all that kind of stuff. We also talked about sperm quality and what we can look at doing there. Again, we'll just look at, see if this works first time around. If if this doesn't work, we'll do another semen analysis, but a more in-depth one. This is something I've personally also been learning a lot about too, is that semen analysis tests vary across every testing clinic. So you want to make sure that you're doing one where they look at everything and they have certain measures in place to ensure that they're getting the best possible answers as well. So we would look at doing that if we need to. So yeah, it was just so refreshing to just get a really clear plan and just resign to her stuff and just be like, you know, I'm just going to do whatever you tell me. Even some of the formulas, like the herbal medicine that I usually do for myself with endo, I was like, what would you want me to do? You know, I want to give it all over. So that was really good. Now, today I got my period. So it means that my cycle has actually only been 23 days, and usually it's only 27 to 28 days. And I had a feeling this was coming because this morning Ed and I were about to go out for breakfast, and I all of a sudden just got this wave of cramps, and it wasn't unbearable, but it was certainly like, oh, this isn't very comfortable. So I took a shot of my herbs and took some magnesium and all of that, and it subsided after about 10 minutes, so it was good to go. Went out for breakfast, went off to Bunnings, and as we were walking out of Bunnings, I just felt this flood in my underwear. I was like, oh, I've either just got my period or I just had a big bucket of discharge. I just felt like I kind of wet myself, and sure enough, when I got home, I'd got my period. So to be honest, I was excited because it means we're one step closer to be able to do transfer. So provided I ovulate as well. I mean, I've always ovulated, so let's just hope that that's normal. I quickly put a post in the IVF Geelong Facebook group to see if anyone else had experienced early periods, because it's actually the one thing that I haven't really dived into about whether it affects your periods or not. And this one girl replied straight away saying that same thing happened to her, and she was told that that can definitely happen as normal. So yeah, fingers crossed this month goes to plan in terms of, you know, I ovulate and we can do the transfer. Russell Dalton actually messaged me this morning to say that he's put together the frozen embryo transfer plan, and that it was a really good looking embryo, so fingers crossed that it works. But you know, there's nothing else we can really do other than, well, actually no, that's not true. There's a lot I can do right now, which is, you know, doing everything possible with Miranda, and also incorporating acupuncture as well, and obviously diet too. And obviously, so after my period, there'll be no herbs. Obviously we don't want to interrupt with the IVF, so we're certainly going to avoid herbs, but a lot of nutrients, and these are all evidence-based nutrients that improve your outcomes of implantation. But of course, like I said, if it doesn't work, also starts working on my egg quality as well. So I'm actually feeling pretty excited, but once again, you know, I know that this excitement can be stolen away from you really quickly, but you've just got to ride the wave. I know that this could also end in devastation in a few weeks as well, so I just have to keep riding that wave until we get the outcome. But you know, it's also really exciting working with Miranda too, because I know that she's helped hundreds of women fall pregnant naturally who couldn't fall pregnant or were told they wouldn't be able to. And you know, she was even telling me a story of like one woman who had been trying to fall pregnant for 9 years, did the FIFA protocol test, and identified one thing, she fell pregnant next month. So, and you know, this excites me too, because again, it's helping me on my practice learning journey, and this is absolutely something that I want to be helping women with as well, and this is just going to deepen my knowledge and experience, you know, in the same way I guess Miranda has been through too. She's very open about her own IVF journeys and all of that. So yes, we'll just have to bide our time until we can start everything.
And here we go again. Fun times. Pain has been just getting up a little bit. Taken heaps of herbs though, and it's definitely helping. Certainly fairly manageable now, but it's only during the day, so I don't know what to expect yet. But I'm just laying in bed with my heat pack on, it's actually come down a little bit, which is nice. I've been drinking my Don't Crack My Style tea. I've been taking my herbs every couple of hours, which has a whole heap of analgesic and anti-inflammatory herbs. And I've taken my magnesium today. I even took a capragesic as well. Just scanning across all the bases, so I'm actually not too bad now. I'm just laying down with a heat pack. It's pretty manageable, but again, I don't know what's going to happen, so we'll just have to wait it out.
I tell you what, if these pimples don't go away, I'm going to lose it. Just sticking around. They're definitely, like, the redness has gone down and all of that now, but they just won't go away. Really annoying. So today is day 2 of my period. Last night I just made the decision and said to myself, I'm not going through it again. I'm not going to put myself through what I did last month. So I ended up taking 2 just generic period pain relief tablets. I think it's just like the same as naturopath, but like the chemist one. And it took about a good hour and a half till it worked. I think I have some of my protein powder on my lip. So I ended up having a warm bath last night and actually falling asleep in the bath, but I had a pillow and everything. Was listening to an audio book, Wilbur Smith, River God, if anyone was wondering. Very old book, but one of the best books in the world. And then it finally started to ease off, and once the painkillers kicked in, I had the best sleep. It was so good. So, you know, sometimes we just have to do that to bring ourselves comfort, but I was just like, I'm just not doing this again. I cannot. But the pain, oh my God, like, it must have been something to do with the surgery, like the egg retrieval process, because the pain was just like this. It felt like these really sharp spasms, like kind of like as if I was in labor, like it would kind of come and then go. So like it would just ease off, and then all of a sudden I'm like, and then it would go away. So yeah, that was not very fun, but a warm bath was honestly the best thing. So today I slept in quite late, I think more so because of the painkillers, because I don't take them very often. I'm very sensitive to them. But it was a really good sleep. And just very, very mildly crampy. Actually a little bit of lower back pain, which I don't usually get with my period, more so around ovulation. So I'm just taking it easy today. Luckily Mondays are my chill day where I just kind of like get little admin business things done. And I said to my husband today, Mondays are like my lay down, do some washing, lay down, clean the kitchen, that kind of thing. So I'm just going to do that and see how we go. Just still waiting on, I'm just still waiting for the IVF clinic to call back about what I do next, because to be honest, I don't really know what the process is with frozen embryo transfer. All I know is you take progesterone pessaries. They do a scan to check your lining. They also, I think they do a blood test to check if you've ovulated, and then once they confirm you've ovulated, they do the frozen embryo transfer about 5 days after. But I'm not sure if there's anything else I'm meant to be doing. So I've called them and I'll wait to hear back, but it's obviously nowhere near as invasive as the last month. But I'm feeling quite excited that this is all happening really quickly, especially with my period happening sooner than it usually does. Hopefully that doesn't affect my cycle too much in terms of this being successful. I don't think it will. I just want to get this done, and I feel like it's been great. I haven't had too many days in between that I've had to wait of doing nothing. So we'll see. Emotionally, I'm feeling really a lot better. And, I realized that it was only when I'd read into things too much that was just unnecessary that would make me upset. So now I'm just not reading into things too much, just taking it as it comes. And, every now and then I'll catch myself thinking too far and be like, oh my God, just remember, you've only got one blastocyst. What if this doesn't work? And then I'll stop myself and be like, just ride the wave of feeling good, because, it's probably going to get shit again at some point, whether I fall pregnant or not. There's going to be more emotions ahead. So just enjoy the times when you're feeling good, because we don't know how long it will last. But I'm certainly feeling positive knowing that I've got more of an action plan working with Miranda Myles, and just knowing that if this doesn't work, we've got a better plan. And hey, who knows, we might even go back to the drawing board and look at trying to get pregnant without IVF again. So it just depends on a few factors, but we'll see. Basically within seconds of finishing that video, Ballarat IVF called. So yep, what we're going to do is pretty much confirming what I guessed. So I will have a scan on day 10 of my cycle, just to see how, the follicle that would usually be ovulated is tracking, because they obviously want to know when you're going to ovulate. So that will be day 10 of my cycle, which is a little bit on the earlier side, but again, they just want to see because everyone's different. So that'll be on the 6th of October. And then if we need to get another one, they'll check, again, 2 days later. And then once everything's good to go, they will do the transfer 5 days after in Ballarat. And I will need to take the progesterone pessaries, and there will also be another trigger, which is pregnal, and then we'll go from there. So just have to keep waiting on, but it's getting exciting because that's not really that far away. So if it's day 10 and I'm on the second day of my period now, not long before I get my next scan, and it'll feel like it's all happening. Exciting. I'm so ecstatic. One of our good friends who has been trying to fall pregnant for 4.5 years has just told me that she's pregnant, and I'm so happy for her, because this actually brings me hope as well. And we've really connected through this year about our fertility journeys, and knowing that she is a bit older than me, and knowing like 4.5 years, I just cannot even imagine. And it just, like, stories like that actually just make me so happy. And I think for those women in this circle of trying to fall pregnant, we are just so stoked when someone does fall pregnant. It's hard when someone falls pregnant really easily, but it's a different feeling for someone when they actually finally get that news. And I know that that's going to be us eventually soon as well. Just had my first acupuncture session since before egg retrieval. I missed my consult on Monday because I was just all over the shop after getting my period. But that one, it was really good. While I was like having the acupuncture, and when you left there laying on your own, I definitely started crying. I just felt like it all kind of flooded, because you've got like the real mood setting music. It just like feels really emotionally intense, but it was really good. And she did like the moxa, which is where she puts this like box with this moxa, it kind of looks like a cigar, and it's smoking inside this box, and it's really warm, and it helps to promote circulation to the uterus and the pelvis. And she said that she really wants me to just focus on keeping warmth around that area to keep promoting circulation to that area, because now the most important thing is that we want to get a nice thick lining to help that embryo implant. That is the most important thing right now. And she gave me a good reminder that I need to do daily meditation as well, and really just bring my awareness to the pelvis, and really just, focus on thickening that lining. So yeah, it was really good. So I'm going to try and get in as much acupuncture as I can before transfer, and then on the day I'll get acupuncture just before and just after transfer as well, because there is research around that, and there is also research on getting regular acupuncture leading up to the transfer as well, to improve the chances. So yes, feeling good, feeling relaxed, emotionally drained as per usual, but like I feel a lot better than what I have lately. On day 6 of my period, well, my period's pretty much finished, but day 6 of my cycle, and I'm feeling so flat today, and Just tried to do a little workout more so only because Ed was on my back about it. Like, I definitely didn't wake up thinking I'm going to do a workout, and because it was a nice day, he was like, oh, you should get out and do some work, do a workout, get some sunshine, which is kind of his like little passive way of being like, you need to do more exercise. And so I just tried, and I just felt so flat and tired. And when I said I feel fatigued, he's like, oh, you should see a naturopath, like sarcastically. And that just pissed me off. And now I'm just feeling like in a shitty mood. So I'm just feeling really pissed off because, you know, my husband was like, oh, it's a really nice day, you should get out and exercise. But it wasn't like in a like it was like insinuating that you're doing the opposite. And he was also like, you know, we've got to work on our beach bodies. I was like, well, I won't be working on that. I'll have a baby in my belly. And he's like, oh, well, hopefully. Like, and it was just a bit negative for me, and just frustrating. And so I'm just in a shit mood now. Thanks a lot. Even after the period, hormones are going to fuck with your emotions. If you do IVF, it is just something that you really need to understand that it is going to fuck with your emotions hard. One day we're feeling good. You might have a few days where you feel great and you're just like, yes, finally it's over. And then you'll wake up and you're like, oh, here we go again. So just so you know, that is a heads up. And just word up your partner as well. You know, I am one of those people who's still quite skeptical about energy and all that kind of stuff. And yet, time and time again, weird things happen. And I'm like, when are you going to start believing in this stuff? Because this week, I've had the most cancellations and reschedules I've probably ever had. But I actually really needed it. And so, for example, today, like I went from being completely booked up this week to people actually emailing me saying, hey, when can I get in with you? I can't find any time sooner, to all of a sudden like having so much free time. And I can't help but think that like there's some weird energy shift that's just making me, you know, freeing up time for me that I need right now, because I actually do feel really flat today. And, you know, it's Friday, I usually practice, and I've gone from having a full day of consults to only having, I think, so I just had one follow-up that was half an hour, and then I've only got, I think, like 2 15-minute follow-ups, and I'm actually so relieved.